A pleasant day to each and every one of you, Hospitality and Tourism Management second-year students of College for Research and Technology. This is Ma'am Ara Venise Ocampo, your instructor in THM 06. I'd like to welcome you all in our class, THM 06, Multicultural Diversity in Workplace. So I hope you already downloaded the PDF file sent in our Edmodo class. So as you browse the module, you will see here a series of pages. So in page 8, there is a learning outcome which is the e-portfolio. So this will be your second assignment in THM 06 that will be further discussed during our Zoom class. So let's begin to discuss Module 1.1, Introduction to Multicultural Diversity. For the learning objectives, after reading this module or after you watch this module, you should be able to, number 1, explain the definition of multiculturalism. Number 2, explain the definition of culture. Number 3, discuss the key characteristics of culture and its example. So now let's begin. So for the first lesson, we are going to introduce what is multicultural diversity. So during our subject orientation last week, we already discussed some key terms about multicultural diversity. So for now, we are going to reiterate again the term. So it says here, the idea of multiculturalism in contemporary political discourse and in political philosophy is about how to understand and respond to the challenges associated in cultural and religious diversity. So the term multicultural is often used as a descriptive term to characterize the fact of diversity in society. But in what follows, the focus is on the prescriptive use of context of Western liberal democratic society. So in short, pag sinabi po natin na multicultural o yung tinatawag natin na multiculturalism, it means these are the many or multiple cultures within a group of society. Okay? So sabi nga natin, yung term na multi, okay, means many or multiple. Okay? So each individual in the society have different or have many cultures, races, ethnicities, and so on. So we also have the term here multiculturalists. So ibig sabihin, when we say multiculturalists, these are the people or the so-called cultural groups. Okay? So it says here that yet multicultural claims include a wide variety or wide range of claims involving the religion, yan, language, ethnicity, nationality, and race. While there is a term also called culture. So when we say culture, it can be contested, open-ended concept, and all of these categories have been subsumed or equated with the concept of culture. So pag sinabi naman natin culture, these are the sets, okay? These are the sets of attitudes, religion, language, ethnicity, nationality, race, gender, beliefs, political stand, and so on. Okay? So we must not forget that when we say multiculturalism, it involves many or multiple culture. Okay? So now let's proceed to the next slide. So it says here, there is a term multicultural diversity. Okay? Multicultural diversity or the so-called cultural diversity. So when we say cultural diversity, it is a form of appreciating, okay? It is a form of appreciating the differences in individuals, okay? The differences can be based on gender, age, sex, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and social status. So when we say cultural diversity, it means there is an existence of our differences. Kasi pag sinabi nating diversity, it means differences. Okay? There are differences. Within the individual, marami tayong pagkakaiba-iba. Iba-iba tayo ng gender, iba-iba tayo ng age, iba-iba tayo ng ethnicity, ng sexual orientation, iba't iba rin tayo ng religion, ng mga beliefs natin. So ngayon, ano po ba ang pinaka-aim ni cultural diversity pag pinag-combine natin sila? So basically, pag pinag-combine natin si culture tsaka si diversity, our aim here is to appreciate the individual differences. Okay? So ibig sabihin, as a student nowadays, dapat matutunan natin na i-accept, i-appreciate pa yung pagkakaiba-iba ng mga kaklase natin. Again, sabi ko nga last time, we are unique in our own different ways. So, meron pa ditong ibang description. Cultural diversity, also known as multiculturalism, is a group of diverse individual from different cultures or societies. Okay? So, sabi nga dito, they are language, ayan, nabanggit ulit, religion, and then race. Ano po ba pag sinabi nating race? Okay? So, when we say race, these are the biological, okay? These are the biological or physical, okay? These are the biological or physical characteristics ng isang tao. So usually, pag sinabi nating biological or physical characteristics, ito yung skin color, okay? Hair color, eye color, okay? Kasi 'di ba minsan may mga tao tayong nakikita, bakit sobrang puti nila? Bakit sobrang itim nila? Bakit curly yung hair nila? Okay? So ibig sabihin, ang tawag natin doon is the race. Of course, sexual orientation, sila ba is female, sila ba is male? Ano ba yung pinili nilang gender? Let's say for example, nowadays, na-accept na natin yung mga LGBTQ community. So, ibig sabihin, we are open to other genders as long as there is an equality na tinatawag nga natin. Okay? So, don't forget that when we say cultural diversity, it is about appreciating the differences of an individual. Okay? So, next is we have here the cultural trends or the cultural diversity trends and example. So, ano ba yung mga pwedeng example pag sinabi nating cultural diversity? Number one is the growth in a minority of workforce. So, ano ba pag sinabi nating minority? Ano ba yung term na minority? Okay? So, when we say minority, these are the group who holds a few or no position or power. So, usually, there are a group of persons or group of people na yung kanilang authority, yung kanilang power within the organization or a company is hindi ganun kataas. Okay? So, sinasabi natin dito, yung mga minority groups, sila yung mga tao na merong reduced, okay? Reduced or unequal treatment. So, sila usually yung mga tao na hindi nakaka-receive ng equal treatment within an organization or a company. Okay? So, yung mga minority employees na tinatawag natin, sila usually yung mga nasa lower positions sa company. Sila yung may mga early jobs o kaya naman sila yung mga employees na medyo kulang sila or lack of quality education. So, but then again, kahit na ganun yung situation nila, pwede pa rin silang ma-enhance, pwede pa rin silang maging empowered. Papaano, ma'am? So, nowadays, di ba, napakarami ng mga trainings na pinoproduce ng mga iba't ibang companies or organization. Example na nga po niyan, di ba, yung TESDA. So, yung iba sa inyo, during senior high school days or during first year, nakapag-take na kayo ng iba't ibang mga TESDA qualification na makakatulong sa inyo to further enhance your skills, your abilities, and of course, your experiences. Para nang sa ganon, pagdating nyo in a real life or in a real situation sa mundo, kapag nagtrabaho na kayo, you have your skills, your abilities, and your experiences na magagamit ninyo sa work. So number 2 is the growth of stereotyping and prejudices. So ano po ba pag sinabi nating stereotyping? Ma'am, medyo mahirap yung word na yan. So when we say stereotyping, okay, these are the standard, okay, standard viewpoint. So usually, ang pag sinabi nating stereotyping, ito yung mga nagiging common na tingin natin sa mga tao. Okay? So kumbaga, binibigyan na natin sila ng profile kahit hindi naman sila yon. Okay? So example of this is, for example, a waiter, nag-dine-in ka halimbawa sa isang restaurant. O kaya may nag-dine-in na isang guest sa restaurant. Commonly ikaw, ang connotation mo or ang pag-iisip mo, hala, nag-dine-in sila sa restaurant natin, siguro mayaman yung guest na to. Siguro bibigyan tayo ng tip nito. Okay? So, where in fact, hindi naman po lahat ng guest na nagda-dine-in sa mga fine dining restaurant or sa mga sikat na restaurant is hindi naman lahat sila bibigyan ka ng tip. Okay? So, may mga guests pa rin tayong may encounter na very generous, talaga namang bibigyan ka ng tip. Okay? Talaga namang magko-compliment yung guest na ang ganda-ganda ng service na pre-provide mo. So, the next one is yung tinatawag nating prejudice. Ano ba pag sinabi nating prejudice? So, when we say prejudice, these are the preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experiences. So, usually sabi natin, preconceived opinion. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, nagbigay ka ng opinion mo, pero wala yon, walang basis ng fact, or walang basis ng actual experience. For example, nowadays, ang tingin nila kapag mga babae, okay, pag babae ka, wala kang masyadong mga heavy workloads na kayang gawin. Okay? For example, ang tingin nila kapag flight attendant, usually mga babae lang yan. But nowadays, yung mga airline companies, tumatanggap na sila ng mga flight attendant na mga males o mga lalaki. So, ngayon, yung mga waiters, di ba? Mapalalaki, mapababae, they are flexible. Kayang-kaya nila magbuhat ng mga bar tray, kayang-kaya nilang bigyan ng quality service yung mga customers. So, ibig sabihin, sa preconceived or sa prejudice, nagkakaroon tayo dito ng tinatawag na judgment. Okay? O yung negative judgment or negative opinion na naibibigay natin sa mga tao. So, of course, para ma-lessen natin yon, we should implement a diverse company. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, sa isang company, pinapractice nila yung tinatawag nating diversity. Next one is number 3. Companies are embracing is the addition of sensitivity or diversity training. So, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung iba't ibang mga companies ngayon, they are open for several trainings para mas maging ma-enhance yung mga skills, yung knowledge, and yung experiences ng kanilang mga tauhan. So, this type of training educates all employees about cultural differences so that they can understand and appreciate each other. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang employee, nakapag-undergo siya ng mga series of trainings, like for example, itong ang diversity training, mas maiintindihan niya, mas ma-appreciate niya yung pagkakaiba-iba ng mga tao within the workplace. At the same time, makakatulong din yon para mas maintindihan niya yung iba't ibang klase ng mga customers or mga guests na mai-encounter niya kapag siya is nagtatrabaho. Okay? So, that is for number 3. So, now let's go to the next slide. Yan. So, sabi dito, the purpose of sensitivity training is to teach employees how to act properly and communicate in a corporate environment. So, parang sa sensitivity training, dito rin natin tinuturo yung term na professionalism. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ngayon na nag-aaral tayo, tinuturuan na tayo ng mga teachers natin on how to act professionally. Okay? Para in the near future, kapag nagtrabaho na tayo, kapag nag-start na tayong mag-apply sa mga workplace, alam na natin how are we going to act and communicate properly towards our coworkers, towards our customers. Okay? So, number 4 is the large increase of females in the workforce. So, nowadays, sabi ko nga, we are aiming for equality. Kaya naman, marami na rin tayo mga female workers or mga kababaihan na talaga namang nagdo-dominate sa ating industriya. Okay? So, madami dyan mga female na housekeeper, mga female na chefs, female front office attendant, okay? Yung iba naman is female bartender, yung iba naman is female waitress, okay? So, ibig sabihin, nowadays, yung half ng labor force natin or yung half ng workforce is puro mga babae na. So, sabi nga, women are already empowered during this 21st century. So, number 5, corporations became more open to hiring individuals with disabilities and accepting different abilities. So, may mga companies po na inaalaw nila na mag-apply yung mga persons with disabilities, pero syempre, itong mga taon na to, meron pa rin silang limits. Okay? So, of course, kapag talagang hindi pwede, hindi siya qualified sa work, of course, hindi nila tatanggapin yung applicant. So, pag sinabi nating mga disabled persons, usually, meron pa rin silang tinatawag na potentials. Okay? May mga kakayahan pa din sila na pwedeng gawin within the company. Pero syempre, yung mga potentials na yan, those are limited. Okay? May limit lang. Depende sa degree nung disability nila. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kapag halimbawa, nag-hire tayo ng mga persons with disability o yung mga PWD na tinatawag, they still need to undergo training and education. Okay? So, kailangan din nilang dumaan sa same pattern or sa same procedure na ginagawa ng mga regular employees. So, of course, syempre, di ba, kapag nag-hire tayo ng mga PWD o yung mga persons with disability na talaga namang may potential, usually may benefit yun sa company. So, unang-unang benefit nun is, of course, increase in diversity. Okay? Kasi nga, di ba, syempre, when we say diversity, we are accepting or we are appreciating, okay, yung differences ng isa't isa. Of course, increase in work ethics and dedication, and it will enhance staff morale. Ibig sabihin, mas magkakaroon ng interest, mas magiging engaged yung mga employees. Okay? So, next one is what is the Filipino workforce culture? Ano ba yung kultura or nakagawi ang kultura ng mga Pilipino sa place of work nila? So, number 1 dyan is yung titles and nicknames. Ayan, hindi yan mawawala. So, titles are the norm in the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin nito, we're get to use to call other people such as ate, ayan, kuya, ma'am, sir, and so on. So, di ba nga, nauso pa yung mga terms ngayon na such as momsh, di ba? Momshi, natatawag natin yung mga coworkers natin. Or kayo in the near future, baka matawag yung mga coworkers nyo na ganon. But sabi dito, titles don't apply in casual setting, but also professional ones. So, ibig sabihin, kapag tayo is nasa workplace, we must practice calling our colleagues, yung mga kasamahan natin sa trabaho, na ma'am or sir. O yung iba naman tawag nila madam. Okay? Ma'am or sir is more appropriate than calling them ma'am or than calling them rather kuya, ate. Okay? So o kaya naman sa pangalan natin sila tatawagin. So mas mainam na gumamit tayo ng proper salutation. Ma'am, sir, miss, mister. Okay? So it is very or highly appreciated. Even when they tell Filipinos not to address you with this title, they will most often do so. So sabi nga dito, Filipinos are also being like to called by their nicknames. Okay? So instead nga daw na Robert, ang tawag mo is Rob. Okay? Instead na Nick Emerson yung itawag, Nick na lang yung tawag, kesa buong pangalan pa yung babanggitin. Ayan o, Elizabeth. So instead Elizabeth, Bet na lang yung tawag. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, mas maganda kung dudugtungan natin sila ng Mr. or Miss para mas professional. Okay? So next example is the unique communication style. So ano ba pag sinabing unique? Kakaiba. So tayong mga Filipinos, we are very unique when it comes to communicating with other people because we are using the term po and opo. Okay? So sabi nga dito, yung po and opo natin, it is a formal form of the word yes. Instead na sabihin natin na yes sir, yes ma'am, ang nasasabi natin, opo ma'am, yes po ma'am. Okay? Gumagamit pa rin tayo ng po and opo talaga. Okay? So sabi dito, Filipinos are also very expressive and highly contextual. So next one is the hospitality, warmth, and friendliness. So alam naman natin, pag sinabing mga Filipinos, they are very hospitable. Hospitality, warmth, and friendliness of Filipinos don't stop at home. Nadadala daw natin yan sa ating workplace or nadadala natin yan sa school or kung saan man tayo nagpupunta. Okay? So in no time, you'll be at ease in your new environment. Ibig sabihin, kung baguhan ka pa lang sa isang trabaho, okay, bagong hire ka pa lang, wala ka pang masyadong kakilala, eventually, mga ilang araw lang, makaka-close mo na yung inyong mga co-workers dahil nga sinasabi na mga Filipinos daw ay friendly. Okay? Let's say, mainit yung pagtanggap nila sa isa't isa, lalo na pagdating sa trabaho. So, number 4 is co-workers as a family. Okay? So, sabi dito, strong bond runs through the Filipino workplace due to long hours that they spend together. Kasi syempre nga naman, di ba, araw-araw kayo yung magkakasama sa trabaho, you'll get to bond with each other, lalo na kung may mga free time or walang masyadong customer or guest. So, in that case, natatawag na natin minsan yung mga mas matatanda sa atin na nanay or tatay. So, okay lang naman yun na tawagin natin silang nanay or tatay sa mga nakakatanda. Pero syempre, kapag nakakakita tayo ng guest or may mga guest na nakasalamuha sa atin, usually, we need to call them Miss, Mr., Ma'am, or Sir. Para at least magkaroon pa rin tayo ng appropriate salutation sa mga kausap natin. Okay? So now, let's move to the next slide. Ayan. So yung last example natin for the workplace Filipino culture is yung hardworking. Yan. So siguro wala naman tayong doubt that Filipinos are really hardworking. Lalo na ngayon na ang daming challenges because of the pandemic. Example, your instructors or your teachers. They are working from home. They are also working in school. Diba? Kapag duty nila. And they are not just working 8 hours a day, but instead, they even work for 12 hours or beyond. Okay? So, lalo na yung mga ibang employees na nagtatrabaho ngayon, such as example, yung mga nurses, yung mga doktor, na talagang they give their 100% just to accommodate patients na may mga sakit, lalo na yung COVID-19. Okay? So, the next one is managing cultural diversity in workplace. So, paano ba natin mamamanage? Paano ba natin pangangalagaan yung ating mga tao within the workplace o yung mga employees? So, sabi dito ni Dr. Richard Alpert, developing cultural competence results in an ability to understand, communicate with, and effectively interact with people across cultures and work with varying cultural beliefs and schedules. So, syempre, kapag ang isang company, pinahahalagahan nila yung kanilang mga employees, yung kanilang mga customer, Okay? Binibigyan nila ng sapat na trainings, binibigyan nila ng, let's say, tamang salary, benefits. Usually, they get to understand, 'di ba? Naiintindihan nila yung isa't isa. Nakakapag-usap sila ng maayos, and they effectively interact with different kinds of people. Okay? Regardless kung ano yung paniniwala niyan, ano yung religion niyan, as long as na may understanding or mutual understanding within the workplace, nagiging maayos, okay, yung operation ng isang company. So, we have here number 1, communication. Okay? So, sabi dito, when we provide information, it must be accurate, okay, and prompt. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating accurate, tama, okay, sakto, walang labis, walang kulang, okay? Kasi 'di ba, kapag nagbibigay tayo ng mga false information o mga maling balita, usually malaki yung effect niyan. It's either mag-cause ng problem, mag-cause ng accident, or magkaroon pa ng sinasabi dito ng trouble. Okay? Which is, pag nangyari yon, there must be an immediate corrective action. Ibig sabihin, kapag may nangyaring problema dahil wala ngang proper communication, dapat masolusyonan yan agad. So, lalo na, di ba, sabi dito, people from Asian cultures are reluctant to give supervisors bad news. Okay? Kasi minsan natatakot tayong sabihin sa mga nanay natin, sa tatay natin, o kaya sa boss natin, sa teacher natin, na nagkamali tayo. Okay? Na hindi natin naintindihan yung information na sinasabi. So, para maiwasan yon, there should be a clear communication, okay? Para at least maging effective and efficient yung pagtatrabaho natin. So, number 2 is team building. So, ano ba yung sinasabi nating team building? So, pag sinabing team building, there is a cooperation within or among other teams. So, ibig sabihin dito, we don't want people to go to their workplace or let's say to go with their tasks or responsibilities alone. So, dapat ipa-feel natin sa mga katrabaho natin in the near future na hindi ka nag-iisa. Okay? Let's say, for example, magtatrabaho ka as a chef. Okay? Halimbawa, naging chef na kayo someday dahil sobrang hilig nyo magluto. So, of course, sa kitchen, hindi lang ikaw ang chef. Marami kayo. Marami ka ring mga katulong doon or mga assistant cook. Okay? So, na ibig sabihin nun, dapat kayo or lahat kayo within a certain area, nagkakaintindihan kayo. Meron kayong cooperation, meron kayong teamwork na matatawag. Kasi sabi doon, mas nalilesen yung mga problema. Okay? Nalilesen din yung mga issues. Kasi syempre, di ba, pag sa workplace or kahit naman hindi sa workplace, kahit sa school, minsan nagkakaroon ng issue. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng issue yung kaklase nyo, na kesyo ganito daw, ganyan. So, we want to lessen it. Okay? Kaya nga sabi dito, effective cross-cultural team building is essential. Okay? Which later on, we will discuss ano nga ba yung tinatawag na cross-cultural communication. Next one is the time. So, pag sinabi naman nating time, culture differs in how they view time. For example, for other people, time is gold. They don't want to waste their time. Pag sinabing ganitong oras dapat mag-start, ganitong oras dapat matapos. But sadly, sa ating mga Filipinos, andyan yung nauso na Filipino time. Okay? Pag sinabing 12 o'clock, darating 1, darating 2. Or minsan nga, napopostpone pa yung pinaka-task or activity na dapat gawin. So sabi dito, different perceptions of time can cause a great misunderstanding and mishap in the workplace, especially with scheduling and deadlines. So alam naman natin, when we work someday, we should always meet, okay? We should always meet the deadlines. Ibig sabihin, as much as possible, kapag alam mo na dapat ipasa to within a particular day, dapat ipasa mo siya on time. Okay? So, uso kasi sa atin yung nagra-rush. Kapag andyan na, tsaka lang natin siya gagawin. So, kapag ganun yung nangyari, hindi lang schedule or hindi lang deadlines yung magkakaroon ng problema. Magkakaroon din ng problema yung tinatawag nating quality. Okay? Quality of work. So, ayaw naman natin mangyari yon. Na imbis na maganda yung service na maibibigay mo, yung product na maipoproduce mo, pero dahil nga iba yung conception mo sa oras, ibig sabihin, masasacrifice yung quality. So, ang ending nun, yung mga customer natin hindi masasatisfy kasi lagi tayong late. Okay? O kaya naman, pag sa restaurant, sabi mo, ma'am, 15 minutes po yung chicken. Can you still wait, ma'am? Nun pala, hindi lang pala 15 minutes, 30 minutes pala. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga guests mo, madidisappoint. Maiinis sila. Okay? So, to the point na baka mag-cause ng misunderstanding or conflict. Next one is the schedule. So, work can be impacted by cultural and religious events. So, dapat pag nagtrabaho tayo someday, okay, during the interview, makikita naman sa mga resume nyo na ikaw halimbawa is, let's say, meron kang importanteng mga task tuwing Sunday, kunyari. O kaya naman, halimbawa, tuwing Sunday or tuwing Thursday, halimbawa, let's say Thursday na lang. Tuwing Thursday, halimbawa, is your prayer time. Kasi 'di ba sabi dito, halimbawa for Muslims, mga Muslim, Friday is their day of prayer. So, ibig sabihin, kung alam mo na yung mga co-workers mo, ikaw, halimbawa, ikaw yung manager, ikaw yung boss, kunyari, dapat, bigyan mo ng consideration yung mga employees mo. Kasi baka may employees ka na Muslim. Okay? So, dapat ibigay mo sa kanya yung Friday. Bigyan mo siya ng allotted time or free time kapag Friday. Kasi yun is day of prayer for them. Okay? For example na lang din, di ba, kapag Pasko, kapag New Year. Okay? So, it's either nagkakaroon yung company ng mga events. For example, Christmas party, New Year's Eve party, year-ender party, na sa pamamagitan nun is nagkakaroon tayo ng bonding, okay? Nagiging acquainted sa isa't isa yung mga employees. And of course, they will feel welcome at na-appreciate sila sa company. Okay? So, those are the ways on how we are going to manage cultural diversity in workplace. So, now is we have here again the term culture. So, kanina na-discuss na natin what is culture. So, ulitin lang natin, culture is that a complex whole that includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, law, custom, and any other description. So, when we say complex, wala pong malilito pag sinabi nating complex, it means consisting of many different or connected parts. Okay? Maraming bagay ang nakapaloob sa isang, let's say, sa isang bagay, marami pa siyang branches. Marami siyang mga parts pa na connected. Okay? So, ganun si culture. Kaya nga dyan nasabi, di ba? May knowledge, may belief, may art, may morals, may law, and so on. Okay? So, let's proceed to the next slide. So, ayan. So, kanina, let's summarize kung ano ba si culture. So, according to the definition here, so culture consists of derivatives of experience, more or less organized, learned or created by the individuals of a population. So, another meaning pa ng culture, it is a set of attitude. Ano ba pag sinabi nating attitude? Okay? Ito ba yung mga jokes natin na, I see friend, may attitude. So, no. When we say attitude, okay, these are the point of view. Okay? These are the point of view na tinatawag natin. It is the settled way of feeling or thinking. So, it depends upon on how we view things in life. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi nating attitude. When we say values, ayan, it can be, pag sinabi nating values, it can be personal values, or cultural values. Okay? So, magkaiba sila. So, pag sinabi nating personal values, these are the beliefs about the right and wrong. Okay? Ano ba yung tama? Ano ba yung mali? So, dapat alam natin yon. So, pag naman sinabi nating cultural values, these are the values accepted by religions or societies. Okay? So, alam naman natin, sa mga religions natin, may mga kanya-kanya tayong paniniwala. Na hindi natin pwedeng ipilit yung paniniwala ng isa sa paniniwala ng isa pang katrabaho ninyo. So, there should be an acceptance and respect. So, sabi pa dito, culture is a fuzzy set of basic assumptions, values, and orientations to life, beliefs, policies, procedures, and behavioral conventions that are shared by a group of people. So, tandaan po natin ang culture, hindi lang sa'yo yan. Okay? Hindi lang sa isang individual yan. Usually, when we say culture, it is being shared by a group of people. Madami. Okay? So, let's move on again to the next slide. So, ayan. So, this is very important. Listen carefully. So, we have here some key characteristics of culture. So, culture is manifested at different layers of depth. Okay? So, when we say layers of depth, usually, there are connotations here na sa isang society, merong educational layer, okay? May educational level na tinatawag, na wherein minsan doon natin na-justify, di ba? Or doon natin na-justify kung yung individual may kakayahan ba to perform some task. Okay? So, it depends upon. So, number 2 is the culture affects behavior and interpretations of behavior. So, tayo, iba-iba tayo on how we are going to respond sa mga bagay na nangyayari sa atin. Minsan kaya yung iba, they respond differently from the other, it's because yun yung nakasanayan nila. Okay? So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin dito na, bakit ganyan ka na mag-react? Dati naman hindi ganyan. Bakit ang OA mo? Diba? Bakit nag-overreact ka? So, hindi natin alam yung deep reason behind that. Okay? So, dito sa number 2, nakaka-apekto din yung tinatawag nating mga gestures. Kasi diba minsan, when we smile, alam ng iba that your smile really affects the behavior of the customer. Pag ngumiti ka, of course, mafe-feel ng customer na, ay, ang friendly naman ng mga staff. I feel welcome dito sa shop nila. I feel welcome sa restaurant. Kasi very accommodating yung mga staff or yung mga employees or yung waiter. Okay? So, at the same time, kapag si guest naman, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng complaints or reklamo. Okay? So, tayo, we still need to smile. We still need to calm down. Kasi hindi naman natin pwedeng patulan si guest, diba? So, usually, gagawin natin, kakalma din tayo. Ayaw natin na sabayan yung galit ni guest or ni customer. So, number 3 is culture can be differentiated from both universal human nature and unique individual personality. So, pag sinabi nating human nature, these are the things na common sa lahat ng tao. Okay? So, I think lahat naman tayo, tao, di ba? So, human nature, all human beings have in common. So, dito nakapaloob yung tinatawag natin na psychological. Ayan. So, we have psychological and we have also the physiological. So, ano ba ma'am yung pagkakaiba ng dalawang terms na yan aside from the spelling? So, when we say psychological, usually these are the mental. Okay? These are the mental aspects of an individual or the psychological functions. Lahat tayo may kakayahan na magalit. Lahat tayo may karapatan or may kakayahan na umiyak. Okay? Lahat tayo may kakayahan na ma-in love, maging masaya, and so on. Ibig sabihin, yung mga emotions, every individual can do it or can feel it or it can demonstrate or even express such kinds of emotion. Ngayon naman, when we say physiological, okay? When we say physiological, these are the needs, okay? These are the common needs ng mga tao. We need to eat, okay? We need to drink. Ano pa ba yung mga kailangan natin? We need shelter. We need clothes. Okay? And so on. Para tayo is mabuhay pa rin sa mundo. Okay? So, yung physiological needs, ayan, we need to eat. But some of us, iba-iba tayo ng way kung ano yung gusto nating pagkain. Like for example, sa mga customers natin or sa mga guests. So, I'd like to share something. Before nung nag-OJT ako or nag-training ako dito sa Harvest Hotel sa Cabanatuan City, may na-encounter akong customer kasi naka-assign ako noon sa Food and Bev Department. So, yung customer or yung guest, nag-order siya. Gusto daw niya ng burger. Okay? Gusto daw niya ng burger. Pero sa burger niya, gusto niya is light mayonnaise lang yung nakalagay. Kasi nga siguro merong health restriction or merong sinusunod na diet yung particular guest na yun. So, syempre, bago ko umuo kay guest, bago ko i-confirm yung order niya, pumunta muna ako sa kitchen. Tinanong ko yung chef, "Chef, may available po ba tayo na light mayonnaise?" Kasi po si guest number 1 is nagtatanong kung pwedeng yung burger niya, instead of putting a heavy mayonnaise or full fat mayonnaise, light mayonnaise daw po. So sabi ni chef, meron daw, and immediately, I go again to the guest, at sinabi ko na, yes ma'am, available po yung light mayo. So ibig sabihin, kinostomize ni guest yung kanyang pagkain. So may mga may encounter pa tayong iba't ibang examples as we go along the way dito sa ating lesson. So number 4 is culture influences biological processes. Okay? So ano ba yung sinasabi nating biological processes? Example, our biological need for food. Okay? Lahat naman tayo, we need to eat. Okay? Ewan ko na lang sa iba kung nagda-diet sila, talagang may health restriction or may diet restriction. But of course, when we eat, we have different ways kung ano yung pagkain na gusto natin. Okay? Paano natin yun kakainin? Let's say for example, yung iba gusto nila sa chicken, mas gusto nila fried chicken. Yung iba naman gusto nila yung chicken gagawing adobo and then fried. So, ibig sabihin, may mga iba't ibang procedure na gusto nila with a particular food. Okay? How much are we going to eat? Okay? What are the set of rules na pwedeng i-regulate pagdating sa pagkain? So, of course, syempre sa mga restaurant, may mga guests tayong may encounter na gusto nila, okay, or tinatanong nila kung halimbawa, allergy sila or may allergic reaction yung katawan nila when it comes sa mga seafood, like halimbawa yung shrimp o yung hipon. So, tatanungin muna nila, eto bang salad nyo o yung vegetable salad na to is meron ba siyang shrimp? Okay? Kung may shrimp, pwede bang i-replace siya ng bacon na lang? Okay? So, ibig sabihin, si restaurant, kailangan niyang makapag-comply sa kailangan ni guest. Kung pwedeng i-replace yung shrimp from bacon, so ganun yung gagawin natin. So, number 5 is culture is associated with social groups. So, within the society, napakaraming mga social groups. Let's say, mga professionals. Some of them are engineers, some of them are chefs, some of them are architects, okay? So, iba-iba. And of course, culture is subject to gradual change. So, hindi lang natin ito na idugtong, but it means gradual, okay? Gradual change. So, when we say gradual change, it means ang culture nagbabago din. Okay? So, lahat naman ng bagay nagbabago. Even the people, nagbabago sila. They are motivated pag unang-una sa trabaho. Pero pag tumagal na sila sa work, naglalaylo na sila. They are not being productive. Yung quality ng work na binibigay nila is na hindi na ganun kaganda. So, para maiwasan yon, kailangan alagaan sila nung company. So, we also have here the 3 levels of uniqueness in the human mental programming. So ano ba yung sinasabing 3 levels of uniqueness na to? So number 1 is the human nature. Okay? Human nature. So sabi dito, it is inherited, okay? Namamana, and it is universal. Pag sinabing universal, pwede sa lahat. Okay? So sabi nga natin kanina, pag sinabing human nature, these are common sa lahat ng tao. Okay? So the second level naman is the culture. So ang culture naman daw, hindi siya namamana pero natututunan siya. Okay? So it can be learned. And si culture, hindi siya specific to an individual but instead specific to a group or category. Okay? Halimbawa, sa Philippines, there are group of people na puro Catholic. There are group of people na puro Iglesia ni Cristo. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, nahahati or nagkakaroon ng categorization. So, the last level is the personality. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman nating personality, it can be inherited or it can be learned also. Okay? So, dalawa yung pwedeng possibility sa personality. So, it is specific to individual. So, sabi nga natin, meron tayong kanya-kanyang personality. At yung personality na yon is hindi natin pwedeng i-compare sa ibang tao because we are unique in our own different ways. So again, that is the 3 levels of uniqueness in human mental programming. Okay? So I hope naintindihan po or you understand the lesson. So in case that you've missed some of the points here in our discussion, you can replay. Okay, you can watch again this lesson video. So this is available in YouTube. Or even you can download the file if you have a wireless connection. So you can download the file or you can download the video so that you will have your own lesson video na pwede mong balik-balikan anytime. Okay? So that concludes our module 1.1. The introduction to multicultural diversity. So I hope you all understand our lesson for this week. And of course, if you have any questions, can be answered during our Zoom class. Okay? So thank you very much for listening and watching our lesson video for today. I hope everyone is safe and see you on our Zoom class. Thank you so much.